In this video, we're going to be talking about accents. Should you know a bunch of them? Does it matter? And if you've got a unique one, can it help you or hurt you? We're going to unpack it all in this video. But first off, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jesse Carroll, professional voice actor and coach. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification button, hit the I don't know, pizza button. That's all I came up with. So accents. Now, before we get into this, I just want to express this is my own personal opinion. Feel free to disagree with me. I really don't care, but I'm just telling you what I've experienced through years and years and years of doing this. Okay. So, do accents matter? Yes and no. The one accent, if you want to work in the North American market or in the American market, the one thing that you need to cultivate, which will help you more than anything, is getting down a standard non-regional accent. So, let's say you're from Southie and Boston, you sound like Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Yeah, that's great. It's awesome. A lot of character. Try and reduce that accent. If you're from the South, same thing. But if you're doing local ads, they want to hear that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, here's my experience of why I say it doesn't really matter that much. I have auditioned for jobs for ads for Don't Mess with Texas. And it said, we want a local Austin accent. And if you're not from Austin and it's not a unique Texas accent, do not waste our time and don't audition for this job. I still auditioned for it and I got the job. I asked them if they wanted me to try and do a Texas accent. They said, nah, your accent's fine. Because my accent is kind of non-regional, right? You can't really tell where I'm from. I'm living in New York right now, but I'm originally from Canada, from Vancouver. I did take an accent class to get a standard American accent down. It wasn't that hard. I worked really hard at it and I had some great coaching, who I'll talk about in a second. If you're auditioning in the North American market, get down the standard American accent, the non-regional accent, and you can audition for anything, anywhere. Even if it says, we want a Fargo accent. If you can't do a Fargo accent, don't audition for this job. They don't know what they want. They say they do, but they don't. If you do what you do really, really well, they're open to it. They might just go, oh, wow, we didn't think about that accent. We didn't think about going non-regional. Let's throw that into the client for a wild card just in case. And also on the extreme part of that, let's say you're from the UK and let's say you've got like a London accent. I'm not going to try and do one. I'll butcher it. But let's say you've got like a really I don't know, like a Cockney accent, like a really harsh one, okay? And it says it's a spot for something in California, and you can't do an American accent. Just audition with yours and do a really good job. They might throw you in as a wild card. I was talking with Sam Williamson a little while ago, Voice Man Sam, and he was talking about doing auditions on Bodalgo. And I was curious about that because, I haven't been a huge fan of it. And there's a lot of jobs on Bodalgo for British accents, European accents of various sorts. I didn't see a lot for American accent. He says that he auditions for them with his American accent anyway because they might be open to it. They might throw him in as a wild card and it's worked out for him. If you do what you do really well, I don't think the accent's really going to hold you back. Now, can learning a bunch of accents really well help you in the long run? Yeah, it gives you more arrows in your quiver. It gives you more tools in your pocket. If you can do accents really well, that is. So if you're going to audition for a job and it's, let's say, they're looking for a British accent and you're going to do a British accent, you need to do that better. Well, I wouldn't say better, but you need to be indistinguishable. You need to be able to do it as good as somebody from there. So don't play around on your auditions with accents if you're not sure. Actually, just do your regular one, and they're always going to be open to it. Like I always say, they think they know what they want, but they don't actually. There's one that I auditioned for on voices.com, and it said they were looking for an authentic Castilian, if I'm saying that right, Castilian or Castilian Spanish accent from a certain part in Spain. And that's all they wanted. They wanted that in English, that Castilian Spanish accent. And it found its way to my inbox. I didn't try to be something I wasn't. I was like, this is a $10,000 job. I'm going to throw my hat in and I'm just going to do it the way that I normally talk. And I did it and I booked the job and they split it in half. For the English part, they got me to do it and I got paid $5,000 for it. And for the Spanish part, they hired somebody who does Castilian Spanish, whatever that is. I don't know. Hit me up in the comments if you know more about that accent than I do. But either way, the point is, if you do a good job, they're always open to it. If you're in the UK, if you're in France, if you're in French Canada, continue working on the standard American accent. You can get it down. It's not that hard. And I'll talk about a guy who can help you with that in a second. But until you get it down, do your natural accent. Just be authentic, be you, and do the best job you can on that audition. they're always going to be open to it. And in fact, you might have an advantage because you don't sound like anybody else. And I was just coaching a guy who's from Germany, and he's got a great accent. It's not real harsh. It's pretty subtle as far as German accents go. And anytime you do any kind of product, I tell him, stop trying to do the North American accent, just do your own. And it sounded so high end with his German accent on it. I was like, oh wow, it just gave like an extra, it elevated it a bit. It made it sound a little bit more fancy. That can be an advantage for you. What I'm saying, get the North American accent down, the standard American accent down if you want to work in America. Get that down. Everybody will be open to that. Now, if you want to make yourself more hireable, then start working on accents as you go. But don't just do them on your own. Get a coach, somebody that knows how to do it. In fact, there's a guy I worked with for my standard American accent, and if you're from Canada or the UK or anywhere in Europe or in Africa, I've talked to a bunch of my African VO friends on meetings before, and they were asking about it. Just hire a coach and get the North American accent down, because in the English language, the two accents that you always see are standard American and British RP. Those two accents are the most. And then you get into more specific accents, regional accents. But those two, if you get those two down in English, British, standard American, you're laughing. You'll work all the time. And then go from there. So let's talk about who can help you. Who I went to get the standard American accent down when I was doing it was a guy named Tony Alcantar. Now, who is Tony Alcantar, do you ask? He's a guy I met in Vancouver. He's from Chicago. He does accent coaching on movie sets and TV shows like Man in the High Castle, Fargo, a bunch of others. In fact, I think it's just easier if I just show you. So let me just pull up, switching over. Hey, look at this. I'm using OBS Studio. I'm learning new skills here. This is Voiceover School. This is the community I talk about a bunch. So in the classroom area, if we go down to interviews, live interviews. Got a bunch of live interviews here, and I got already loaded up with Tony Alcantar. Here's his introduction. This will tell you more about Tony than I could right now. All right, everybody. Welcome to another Voiceover School interview. Ladies and gentlemen, I am thrilled to introduce our guest today. Born and trained in Chicago, he holds a BA in theater and an MFA in acting from Roosevelt University. Despite showing no interest in the arts during high school, his journey into acting began by chance after attending an introduction to theater class. His notable students include Stephanie Weir of Mad TV and Sean Hayes of Will and Grace. His career spans film, TV, animation, voiceover, and theater. He is also an accomplished voice actor with credits in My Little Pony, SSX Snowboarding, and Mega Man, to name a few. Since 2004, he has become one of North America's most sought-after dialect coaches. Probably the most sought-after dialect coach. Probably. Hey, look how clean-shaven I am in this. I look like a baby. But no, Tony's amazing. In fact, when I was writing his intro for this interview, I had to cut so much stuff out because I couldn't fit it all in. Working on hit shows like Fargo, The Man in the High Castle, and Fear of the Walking Dead. Recently, he has been the dialect coach on the smash hit Shogun on FX and Hulu, which received 25 Emmy Award nominations, which I'm pretty sure is a record. He is also my dialect coach. He is responsible for me not sounding like a Canadian. Please join me in welcoming the incredibly talented Mr. Tony Alcantar, everybody.
Wow, that sounds like me.
So that's Tony. I'm not going to show you the whole interview. It's just in the school there. But I will take you to his website and show you that he's like really damn affordable. Book now for accents. 4-pack of one-on-one sessions for $299 Canadian. So if you're in the US, that's closer to $200, like $225 or something like that. I'm not a mathematician. Something like that for a pack of 4 sessions. And you can learn all these accents. I highly recommend them. I'm getting nothing to pump Tony. I was really, really exceptionally pleased with my results. I only needed a couple sessions with him and I was good to go. So, and I worked really hard on my own on it too. So if you're struggling to get the standard American accent down, or you're not even sure you need to, just book a session with Tony or shoot him an email. He's highly accessible. He's a great guy. He's accessible when he's not working on a show. He's always on shows and stuff, but shoot him an email. And this above anybody else for the American accent, I highly recommend. I can't recommend Tony enough. That is my rant on accents. Do they matter? Yes and no. If you can't do a bunch of accents, don't fret. I can't really do any either except the standard American accent, which is just the way I talk now. And that's really the only accent I do. Sometimes I'll play around if I'm doing like an animation or video game. If you're doing animation and video games, you know, I know guys that only do their own voice and they have a really successful career. And my buddy Peter Clamus, he can do like every accent, every single accent you could think of, he can do. It makes you more employable, sure. If you don't have a bunch of accents down right now, don't fret and don't think that's the way in either. I've done my whole career just doing standard American accent, very rarely venturing outside of it. And at the end of the day, if you don't have a standard American accent, you want to work in the American market and you are from Europe or Australia or Africa or anywhere else, just be you. Work on getting that standard American accent or the British RP because it's going to make you more employable. But at the end of the day, it's a different world out there and people love diverse accents. So just be you. Be the best you can be and be authentic. And don't apologize for it. Bring your personality and you'll be just fine. Now, if you're brand new and you want to learn how to get started in voiceover, check the links below. Join my free community. I give you all the tools you need to get your feet wet and know how to start in voiceover, build a studio, edit, all that stuff. And if you're a little more advanced, check out the voiceover school. There's a link below for that too. There's a wait list right now. We're only opening the doors once a month. So all the information's below. And hit up Tony if you want to learn more about accent. On that, I've been Jesse Carroll and this has been another video. Peace. I don't know. What did we see? I said it wrong. We will see you in the next one. I got to come up with hey, comment below. Like, what do you guys think I should sign off with? Should I even just sign off or just say, okay, bye? Let me know in the comments.